is something I have been noticing, especially when it comes to women, especially when it comes to our voices, what we have to say and how we say it. Whenever a woman speaks directly or sets a boundary or simply knows what she wants, or she just knows, the world often flips the meaning and calls her aggressive. But she isn't being aggressive, she's being assertive, she's being present, she's being aware. And the deeper truth is that this misunderstanding goes back centuries, really, to the tension between two very old traditions, the wise women tradition and the heroic tradition. Today I want to explore why these two energies clash and why modern women are still being misread because of it. Assertiveness is clear thought presented powerfully. Assertiveness is grounded self-respect. Assertiveness is simply the ability to say, this is my truth, this doesn't work for me, I see what's going on here, no thank you. But somewhere along the way, women were conditioned to believe that clarity makes them difficult, while men were considered to believe their clarity is leadership. This is not personality, this is training, this is structural, this is cultural, and it's ancient. The wise women, and I use the words wise women to represent a very, very old tradition amongst the females, or amongst the feminine. And others may know it by other names, like it would have been the shamans of the village, the midwives, Anyway, the wise woman is not dramatic, she doesn't shout, she doesn't compete, she doesn't dominate. Her power is quiet but unmistakable. Her strength lives in presence, not performance. She reads the room, the energy, the patterns, she knows what's underneath the words. She sees the whole picture. This kind of feminine authority terrifies systems built on hierarchy and control, because she leads through listening and listens through knowing. She is assertive, not aggressive, but most people have never been taught the difference. The heroic tradition, known also by many different names, like the warrior. Just for talking sake, we will refer to these traditions as the wise women tradition and the heroic tradition, just as an example of a separation. The heroic tradition seen in Western medicine, academia, and corporate culture is built on action, intervention, speed, hierarchy, and domination. In this tradition, power is loud, linear, confident, and certain. But when a wise woman shows up in a heroic system, her clarity feels like rebellion, her boundaries feel like challenge, her intuition feels like threat. Her assertiveness is misinterpreted because the system cannot recognize her kind of power. This is where modern women live. Between these two worlds, the wise woman rises in her, but the heroic tradition tries to correct her. So when she says no, they hear, how dare she? When she stands her ground, they call her difficult. This is not about personality, this is about thousands of years of misinterpreting female authority. Across Scotland, Europe, the world, women once held roles as midwives, herbalists, dreamers, healers, storytellers. But when the heroic tradition rose, universities, churches, medical councils, the wise women were pushed out. Some were punished, some erased, but their echo lives in every woman who speaks clearly today. She also lives in the men. The heroic tradition didn't simply rise, it attempted to replace the wise women altogether. She healed through listening, intuition, herbs, cycles, and a deep understanding of the body's natural rhythms. But the new heroic model wanted a world that could be measured, controlled, charted, standardized. Instead of working beside her, the system pushed her out. Yet her lineage was never erased. It survived in gardens, kitchens, and women's quiet knowing. These two traditions were never meant to destroy each other. They were always meant to support the same need, to help us heal, to help us return to wholeness. Today we see places where they meet again. Midwives working with surgeons, integrative medicine blending herbs with science, therapists using somatic wisdom beside clinical training. When these two traditions acknowledge each other, healing becomes a complete, not a world where one replaces the other, but where each enhances the other. Women are not becoming more aggressive. They're becoming more awake, grounded, conscious, and aligned. And the thing about the women is female assertiveness is not a threat. It's just a grounding, a strength that listens, a strength that protects, a strength that resonates, balance. I've looked closely at both these traditions, and here's what I've come to understand. We carry both energies within us, the wise woman and the heroic, the feminine and the masculine, the inward and the outward, the healer and the warrior. And when we leave this physical realm, these distinctions won't matter at all. They only exist here within the physical experience. The real task is to balance them while we're here, to let the listening and the knowing walk beside the action and the clarity, to let intuition sit with reason, to let wisdom stand with strength, because integration doesn't begin in institutions, it begins inside each of us. This place can be a wonderful place or it can be a hellish place. It's really up to us. And if we want to explore out there, we gotta get it together here. If you've ever been labelled aggressive, know this: there is nothing wrong with you. You're not too much. You're not being difficult. You're remembering an ancient part of yourself. You're assertive. And that is a quiet power of a wise woman.